So here is a Yamaha Clavinova CVP-201 electronic piano. And here's the bench here. And I'll open up the cover here. You can see that it says CVP-201 there, so that is the model number. And here we have a floppy disk drive in this piano, which is very handy because what do we have here but some floppy disks? So these are all music floppy disks, specifically designed for this piano. You can put them into a computer, of course, and play the files on there, but you have an enhanced functionality when you use them with this piano. So I'll just demonstrate that here. So we can turn the piano on by pressing this power button here, and then the LCD screen will turn on. And there we go. And let me just get the phone out of the way here. And this is just a little deck by Yamaha, I believe. It says Yamaha on the front. And this opens up like so. So you get this nice cascading deck of floppies here. And you can see there's one for each of a variety of different genres here, I guess you could say. So here is a disc of country music, supposedly, with 4 tracks on it. And you can just put it in the floppy disk drive. Like that. You can hear it's whirring away. And automatically the first song on here came up, so you can just press play. And so the way this works is basically these floppy disks with music are meant to be played along with. So the first note here is highlighted. So now if I press that, and here's the next one. So I think you get the idea of how that works. We can fast forward through the rest of that track. And there we go. So that was this track. Let me just increase the volume slightly there. And so I can eject that disc now and move on to the next one. I'll put that back in its little holder. So here is some Showtime music. The first track here is Star Wars. So let's see what that sounds like. There's the first note. And there we go, so that was that. So we can play the next song too. And oh, I need to press play probably. Here we go. So I think you get the idea here. And of course you can just fast forward. Okay, so enough of this disc here. And next up we have Specialty. So we have Take Me Out to the Ball Game on here. That's track number 8. This is just the information from the last song that was played. And there we go. So let me just play that again. Let me rewind here. You can see the measures are now going backwards. And now let me just play it on fast forward, because honestly it probably sounds better that way than me just individually striking each note. Well, that wasn't all that bad. It sounded pretty good, actually. So next, we have popular music. Can You Feel the Love Tonight? We have Beauty and the Beast on here. We have Yesterday. I'm assuming that's the track by the Beatles, but we can find out here. I'm just going to fast forward the rest. Oh, this is definitely the Beatles song. So there we go. That's it for this one. Finally, here we are at the last one. This one I remember being my favorite, actually. Specifically, well, it's got Canon and D on here, but I particularly liked number 3, actually. Not when it was played at regular speed, but when it was fast-forwarded, gosh, it just sounded like the best thing ever. So I'll show you here what I meant by that. This is by far the disc I use the most, the Classics one. This first one here isn't really a song. It's literally a track of a band warming up, basically. Or an orchestra. It sounds more like a band, actually. So that was the whole track there. That one, there was no play along involved, unlike the other tracks, so this one is really something else. But here we have Canon and D. So that was Canon and D. Now here is, I believe it's called Blue Danube Waltz, or something like that. And this one was my favorite. Now, here it is at regular speed. And by itself, to me, it never sounded all that impressive. But when it's fast-forwarded, it really sounds like a masterpiece. But I'll play it the regular way first. So there it was. Now here it is fast forwarded. Now this really sounds grand. Let me just make this a little bit louder. I mean, it's really worth taking in. Let me just do that again, because it's quite something to listen to. I mean, I really think that right there is better than the original song. I mean, even though that's not how you're supposed to listen to it. And maybe one more time for good measure. So there you have it. Honestly, I really think that should be a version of this song right there. I mean, that by itself sounds good enough. I think I said that would be the last time, but let me just do it once more. And right now the floppy disk is idle, and I think it stopped. Yeah, now it stopped. So you hear this is silent. Now as soon as I press the play button, you'll hear the floppy disk whir into action right now. So let me press that button now. And I hear it whirring again. It's not very loud, but there's a noticeable difference. And let me just play it one more time. Okay, so that's it for that. We'll take the disc out. So that was track number 3. The waltz there. So that's it for these floppy disks. Of course, you can also use this floppy disk. There is a record feature here, so let me just reset the voice here to grand piano. Okay, so it's on grand piano. Let me just reset the tempo to 104. Okay, so you can, of course, record something here, and it will start as soon as you start playing something. So let me get the pedal on there. Okay, so you could save that. And right now it's in the piano's memory, but if you turn off the piano, that goes away. And if you try to access the demo songs on here, so if I press demo, it'll say delete CVP memory. And then if you press yes, your song gets deleted from memory. So it can play these songs. So, you know, you could play a demo song. And when you do that, though, that gets deleted from memory. So if you want to save it, what you need to do is you need to take a blank floppy disk, put her in here, and then you can save that song permanently to a floppy disk. So that would be how you save your recordings from this piano. So I've never done that, actually. I've just used the floppy disk drive here to play things like these. But of course, you can also use the floppy disk drive to export music from this piano, essentially, rather than just play things. But it's very convenient and it's very nice. And it was state-of-the-art, of course, when it was released, and I really think it's still pretty state-of-the-art today. You know, to be able to have, you know, nice little discs like these that you can just slide into the piano. I mean, nowadays USB sticks are probably more common on computers, but I mean, it wouldn't really be practical to have a USB port here. You know, have a USB stick for each of these that you just plug in there. That would just be kind of wasteful. I mean, these are nice and easy, and floppy disk drives on piano were common for floppy disk drives on pianos, at least electronic pianos, of course, were very common for a long time. So that's it for these. That was just a quick look at these floppy disks. And that's it for that.